is the new reality that the King has reached the end of his prime. Didn't think we'd be saying that. Didn't think we'd be saying this. Could Zion make a playoff return? We'll tell you why we're asking. And Kyrie Irving admitting last night there is no predicting the Nets' future. Here I thought he was all clairvoyant and everything. Welcome in on a Wednesday morning, everyone. Jenna Wolf alongside Nick Wright, Chris Broussard, Kevin Wildes. We got a fun show. Broussard's already caffeinated. Nick, I got a question for you. Bad day, right? If you had Nets-Lakers in your finals as a finals preview. Or just as a finals feature.
Oh, yeah. The number 1 and number 2 title favorites, Jenna. One eliminated, the other on the brink. Never seen anything like it. And that's probably all the Lakers we need to discuss for today.
On the brink?
Let's get to title.
Really?
What?
Sure?
Yeah, on the brink.
Feel like we might have more. Feel like we might have more.
Dang.
In fact, that's where we're going to start this morning. End of the rocky road for the Los Angeles Lakers. Sit in it for just a little bit, Nick. In Phoenix last night, taking on the league-leading Phoenix Suns, a game they needed to win to have any shot of staying alive for the play-in. No LeBron in this one, still nursing that ankle. But, guys, let's be honest. It was going to be tough to beat this Phoenix team, even with LeBron in the lineup. He wasn't in the lineup. The Lakers didn't win. The Suns did, and coupled with the Spurs win over the Nuggets, it became official. No playoffs this year for the Lakers. No more puncher's chance, Broussard. Showtime is over. After the game, Anthony Davis on how we got here.
When we put this team together, we had championship aspirations, and once again, injuries have got in the way of that. But I think you would love to see, I think the world would love to see, we would love to see what this team could be if we were healthy for the full 82. Now that repeats next year, we had the same team, who knows? Like I said, we got to recap this season, what worked, what didn't work, and go from there, you know. But I truly think that we could have done something special. You know, Brian and myself, you know, mainly me, were healthy for the entire season.
My goodness. I mean,
He's
at some
nothing
point.
if not self-aware. Yep. Nick, well, let me start with you. What was your reaction to the Lakers missing the playoffs this season?
Well, big picture, it is just an absolute, unacceptable, unforgivable screw-up of a year. And it's, according to StatMuse, it's historically unprecedented. We started doing Vegas finals odds in 1985. Since then, the top 2 teams preseason odds-wise, every single year, have at least made the playoffs. Until this year with the Lakers, who were the second best odds to make the finals or to win the title, and they're going to miss the playoffs. The best odds are the Nets, and they might end up missing the playoffs as well, but at least they're going to be into the play-in. The whole thing is a total disaster, and everyone involved has to wear it to varying degrees. But I want to talk about Anthony Davis, and I want to go, Brew, very little picture, because I think it helps explain the bigger picture. Because I turned on last night's game, and I said, especially because you were seeing, oh, man, Denver's going to lose to a DeJounte Murray-less Spurs team. The Lakers have to win. And I foolishly had this little bit of hope that, maybe Anthony Davis can just throw the team on his back and put up a 40, 18, 6, and 4, keep the team alive, and then see if LeBron can come back for the final 3. And I realized very quickly, Brew, that player doesn't exist anymore. I don't know. I want to show you guys something. Here are the list of players in the NBA this year who have scored more than 35 points in a game 10 times. You look at it and you say, oh, that's, there are some, misses there. But for the most part, it's about 11 of your 12 or 13 best players. That's guys with 10 games, monster scoring games. Anthony Davis has 0. He has 0. And he didn't used to be this player. His last year in New Orleans, he went for 35 plus 10 times. The year before, the year that they were really good and won a playoff series, he went for more than 35 17 times. His first year with the Lakers, he did it 9 times. I know he's only played 40 games. He did it 0 times. All year long. And if scoring's not your favorite thing, you want to go by game score. Basketball Reference's kind of catch-all metric for a great game. A really good game is a game score of 30. A great game is a game score of 35. Brew, 3 times all year, he had a game score of 30. Embiid's done it close to 30. Like, it was 0 times all year, he had a game score of over 35. I don't know what's happened, but I do know this. It's not just injuries. It's not like, well, when Anthony Davis was out there, they were awesome. He played 40 games.
That's right.
And last night was another one. It's like, okay, he was fine. So that's kind of the small picture. That's a bigger picture for the Lakers. What's happened to Anthony Davis?
No, that's well said, Nick, because I would imagine you felt the same way. Once they won that championship in the bubble, I thought AD was going to go to another level. Because that's happened with players before. You get the monkey off your back. Now I don't have the pressure of winning the championship. I've done that. And you ascend. And that was the plan, right? He would ascend. LeBron would become the second guy, and they'd still be able to compete for titles. But he has gone the other way. And what it tells me is that he was content. He was fine with winning that championship, being a top 75 player, being a future Hall of Famer, the monkey's off his back. And he's complacent. All right, so that's true. You have said, and others have said and written, this was the worst season in Lakers history. And that is true. This is an incredibly successful franchise. And I don't mean just since Showtime. You know, those that people might be watching Winning Time on HBO Max and all that with Jerry West. Jerry West got them to the finals like every year. Okay, I know he only won 1. Yeah. He lost his first 7.
Went to 9.
But that's a great franchise. Yes, you're going to the finals every year. So this is the worst season in franchise history. But my first 2 thoughts that came to mind, Wilds, when they missed the playoffs or the play-in. At this point, obviously, not shocking. Anthony Davis has a point to some degree about the health because would they win a championship if healthy? No. But would they be in the playoffs? I think we all agree, yeah, they'd be in the playoffs if they were healthy. But here's the thing. Number one, I thought back to my first thought when the rumblings began, the reports that they were interested in Russell Westbrook. I thought it was a joke. I thought it was fake news. I paid it no mind. All right? And then once it became true, then I tried to justify it. Okay, I think a lot of people did. Okay, you tried to give LeBron the benefit of the doubt. But every basketball instinct in my being was like, there's no way. This can't work. And obviously, that was the case. So that's the first thing. Second thing I thought, Wilds, LeBron, and I say this as a guy that likes LeBron, not only as a player, but as a person. Remain humble. Be humble. It's when you're at your best. Let your game do your talking. Because whenever LeBron gets braggadocious, whenever LeBron gets bombastic, it doesn't work. We remember not 1, not 2, not 3. They won 2, which is good, but they lost 2. He said 7 or 8 or whatever it was going to be, right? Too much. Yeah. Don't do that, LeBron. First year in L.A., Wilds, I'm going into playoff mode. It's activated. They go 3-12 and miss the playoffs. All right, and LeBron shuts it down. All right, and then, of course, the keep that same energy tweet. So LeBron, conversely, when he goes back to Cleveland the second time, right? I'm not promising a championship, he wrote in Sports Illustrated. It's going to be a long process. He's in the finals the first year, championship second year. That's the LeBron that needs to be going forward. Humble, let your game do the talking, Wilds.
I like that.
That's fantastic. Great job. So I think there's an element of hubris to the entire Lakers organization, Broussard. And I want to be an optimistic guy. But optimism every morning wakes up with BS and it's like, hey, we got to stay on different sides of the fence. And BS is like, yeah, okay, I'll be over here. And optimism is like over here. But the Lakers were crossing back and forth. There was a lot of energy of like, is that optimistic or is that just total nonsense? We'll start with LeBron's favorite tweet. Oh, look, and I had a lot of coffee this morning. I had some espressos. I made my Tom Brady protein powder shake, and I was having a hard time keeping the same energy. But LeBron, if you ask me to, well, gosh darn it, I owe it to you that I will try my best to keep the same energy. Don't talk about the personnel ages. Don't talk about the way people play or who's injured, past or prior. Not going to do it. Keep that same narrative energy. Okay, here I go. Number 2, who else said some crazy things? Rob Pelinka. Preseason. Brian Windhorst and Pablo were talking about yesterday. I'm going to watch this clip for myself. You could say this room has the greatest basketball talent assembled on a team in recent history. To Rob's credit, he did talk about the mindset that you need to be a champion. Also, to Rob's credit, he did dismantle a team that won a championship and had the #1 defense and set Caruso packing, even though he wanted to come back for less money. Hey, is what it is. Number 3. Westbrook, this is a favorite one of ours. Remember when Westbrook was shooting poorly? And they're like, hey, the game wasn't going your way. What's the deal? He's like, I disagree. My game's not predicated on shots or if I turn the ball over. I miss some shots, part of the game. I'm allowed to miss shots. I can do that. Like any other player, I can turn the ball over too. Hey, why not? That's all part of the game. Kind of right. Probably not the perfect answer. If I was a game show host, I would say,